Welcome, welcome, gorgeous beings of light. This is Omara coming to you with, I don't know, I've forgotten the day. It'll be on the recording. Let's just take a big breath in. And connect into your light. Connect into your awareness, to your divine I am presence. Big belly breath in. Out through the mouth to bring you into this present moment. Connecting to the sun and the earth in your own divine heart. And as you bring your awareness in to your 100 trillion cells and your 100 trillion telomeres, you can begin breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. As we activate your awareness, the 99% untapped pure potential, pure God source that dwells within you. And we're going to shift your focus from the 1% that controls your life into your 99% untapped pure potential, pure God source. And we'll just do the quickie activation because I remembered when I was going to sleep, my angel said, you must tell them about this miracle. Because this miracle is about when the angels saved my life, literally. When I was at the Grand Canyon back in, I think it was back at around 2003, 2002, somewhere around there. Early millennium. Just continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. This may trigger some stuff, especially if you have unhealed wounds of people attacking you. So just continue to breathe, because that will enable it to transmute. Just remembering that anything that comes up, it's not my energy making you feel that. I can't make you feel anything. It's your poop coming to the surface, my light, my soul light, bringing that up. You don't have to do anything. You just have to breathe, welcome that stuff to come up, and let it leave your being. So we're just going to become aware of our body and toss it out the window. And if this is the first time you're listening to this, go back to the first recording or one of the quickie recordings and it will explain it for you. So body and all its gripes and pains and worries out the window or into another room. Breathe. Identity, your name, address, phone number, type of house you have, type of car you drive, how many kids, cats, dogs, pets, family. Toss all that out the window too. Feel yourself lightening up as you're doing this. All the stories about you that are stuck in the 1%. We're trying to unload them so that we can find your awareness, find your pure God source underneath it. Now all your emotions and your feelings, good and bad, toss them out the window after it. So any sadness, any depression, happiness, joy, any beliefs about, climate control, all of that stuff. I can't think of it now, racism, all the stuff that we're getting up in arms about, toss it out the window too and breathe. And lastly, your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, all of your thoughts, and your beautiful brain. Just place them outside on the veranda or in the other room with the rest of you, and just breathe now. Just breathe. See if you can tap into that extraordinary awareness, that extraordinary pure God source that exists within you. Someone who's been listening to my stuff just for my free activations here on YouTube for just less than 2 months, has just had the hugest money miracle happen for the rest of her life, and I'll share that tomorrow in tomorrow's activation or tomorrow's miracle. But I just want to tell you this. All you have to do is show up, listen and breathe, and give yourself 20 to 30 minutes a day out of the 1,440 minutes that are in every day. And that's the part that I can't do for you. I cannot choose you. I want to, that's why I'm doing these all for free. But you have to be the person that chooses the light for yourself, that chooses to connect to this infinite awareness, this infinite oneness that is happening right now. Right now, all of who you are is showing up fully in this moment, underneath all our stories. And if you just spend 20 to 30, maybe 20 to 40 minutes each day connecting into this light, Spirit will begin showing up for you. Well, they don't show up for you, they're already there. They're just underneath all the poop. It's already you. You're already this extraordinary being of light. And the more you show up here, the more your telomeres are going to grow. And the longer you're going to live. There's all this stuff about telomeres around. Oh, people are taking drugs from them. They're still going to die early, let me tell you. And I found that children have long telomeres, or when we're old, we don't have any. The reason we don't have them when we're old is because we're further away from this, from our soul, from our spirit. But you start connecting to it, and they just automatically lengthen. Do some research on it. It's fascinating. The Bruce Lipton's, I don't know if it's Lipton or Greg Brayton. They're the ones that brought that to light. But of course the drug companies got you a drug that you can take to lengthen your telomeres. It's not going to work. Oh, it's so funny, so funny. But anyway, breathe while I tell you this next extraordinary miracle. So in my 20s, went to a 3D movie theatre. The little short one was a plane flying across the Grand Canyon, and my heart dropped out of my chest when it starts off with just a plane flying across the Grand Canyon. It just drops, the Grand Canyon. It's a 3D movie. And I remember just it taking my breath away, but thinking, if I do nothing else in my life, I'm going to go to the Grand Canyon. Came from a small country town. Every time I went to go overseas, everybody would just be getting married, although I went to Perth when I was in my 20s, so into the city to live. But every time I planned a trip overseas, that person would get married or whatever. And so I'm in my 40s, late 30s, and I decide I'm going to go to a Brain Garden conference in Utah. And then I'm going to go to the Grand Canyon as well. And so everybody's going, don't go, What about if what about if this happens? I go, goodness gracious, planes fly all over the world every day. And you just get in a plane and you trust the pilot's going to get you there. Well, that's all I'm doing, going to America. It's just America, So anyway, off I go, get to my conference. And then I tried to find someone to go to the Grand Canyon. Nobody wanted to. I couldn't believe these people travelled all that way. And I had to go by myself. So I had to hire a car, drive on the wrong side of the road So many amazing miracles happen, but I want to tell you about this one where they saved my life on the way home, and I may bring some of the other miracles to do with the wolf and the deer and all that at a later stage. But today I've been asked to tell you this miracle so you know that Source is always supporting you when you're connected to it and you ask for help. And sometimes they give that help if you're dedicated to your spirituality and to serving humanity as I am, they will help you anyway. Before we get to that end story, I just want to say that as I was driving from St. George across to cut through to, I stayed in a little town which I can't remember the name of now, had a backpackers there, and it was about 80 miles, I think, out of the Grand Canyon. And as I was driving, I came round a corner and there was this massive, massive red rock protruding out over the road, and I just spontaneously burst into tears and had to pull off the car off the side of the road, the wrong side of the road, we would say here in Oz, and just sobbed and sobbed. And I'd already known that I had lives as an American Indian. I didn't know what was about to come, and I'll share some of those later, but I found a couple of American Indian chief lifetimes that are my guides now as well. But so that was the start. That was on day one before I even arrived, and I think I was there for, I can't remember if it was 3 days or 5 days before I had to get back and catch my flight back to Australia. So I'm driving home. So I've been to the Grand Canyon, done all my things. It was amazing, had all these miracles happen. But I'm leaving the little town that I'm stayed in. I've got myself, things are big in America, like I asked for a ham sandwich and it came out with like 10 sheets of ham in it or something. But I said, oh, that'll keep me going, because it was a 6-hour drive back to Provo, and I didn't want to have it to be driving to catch my flight. I wanted to be, and I was just like half an hour out of Utah, Salt Lake City, where my plane flew out of. So, and I was able to sort all my stuff out and repack it and, get myself all organised just to be able to take my suitcases out of the car and walk in and give the hire car back and walk in, catch my flight, etc. So I'm driving a nice car because I hired the car. For a week, so maybe I was down there for a week. So anyway, I leave this beautiful town. I also got an ice cream, and the ice creams are about the size of a house as well. But I'm leaving. I've got the sandwich with me. I'm driving, kind of got just past maybe the Bryce Canyon Way on the road, and I'm looking out for somewhere. I've been driving for an hour or so, and I'm looking for somewhere to stop and have something to eat and to have a pee. And all of a sudden I see like this little road that goes down, and it's right alongside the river, like alongside a running river. And I was like, oh, wow, that'll do. I can get my feet in there. And so I stop, and I think I ate only half the sandwich because it was so huge. But I also found, it was protected. The road was up above, but it was protected by all these bushes so I could have a pee. And I do all that, and I've eaten my sandwich, and I'm just kind of sitting there contemplating. I must have been stopped for about half an hour. It was really quiet and listening to the river go, and I'm contemplating how to get my feet in that river. It was a little bit down. I'd already been told multiple times not to step into rivers, especially around the Grand Canyon, because they run a lot faster and you can just get swept away. So I was sitting there contemplating how I could kind of sit down and just dangle my feet in the water, when I must have been sitting down dangling my feet in the water, because I remember them picking me up by the scruff of the neck, and I hear them say, get in the car, Elle. And I went, oh, I just want to put my feet in the water for a bit longer. No, get in the car now, Elle. I went, no, look, I just want to, and next thing, I'm picked up by the scruff of the neck and lifted up off the edge of the river, plonked back down on the bank, and like, get in the car now. It was so, so loud. So I kind of sauntered over to the car, and I felt like they were like booting me up the pants to hurry up. And I get in the car, and I think I'm going to, you know, looking at a CD to put on, and they're screaming at me, drive. I went, I just want to get a CD. And I'm like, drive. I was like, what the fuck's going on? You know. Next thing, I didn't do this. They slammed my car into gear, and we fishtailed. I would never even be able to drive like that. Fishtailed up this little gravel track we're on, onto the top of the road. And when I got to the top, I was like, what the fuck's going on? You've always taught me not to live in fear. What the fuck is going on? And I had this huge vision of three, and I'm not against Hispanic people or any kind of people, but they were Hispanic people scrambling down the banks a bit further up and running. And as I saw that, I saw them then kicking the dirt and kicking, and because they were so close. And I had this whole vision. I said, because it had been so, like my senses were hypersensitive, I had such a clear vision of, and my heart started to race, and it was like, oh God, planted my foot. And as I'm driving, right there on the side of the road, as I said, like I'd seen in the vision, there was this old green pickup truck, 3 men, and at the same time I saw them kicking the dust, I also saw where they had planned to rape and murder me and steal my car. And that's when I like put the foot down, took off. I just get over a bit of a rise, and there's the green pickup truck. You can't imagine how shit scared I was. I just kept driving. Now, I normally would have driven onto the main road and take the main road up and just continue on this 4 or 5 lane highway back to Provo. But I just decided not to do that. So I kept driving on for another hour and went to, because I'd been contemplating doing that anyway, and went to a American Indian Museum. Bought some stuff there. I still got those stuff actually. Whenever I see this little gold and silver thing I bought from there, it reminds me of this miracle that saved my life. There's been plenty of other miracles where they saved my life, but this is one of the most vivid ones. And then I kind of napped in the car for half an hour before cutting back through to the highway. And I'm driving along the highway now. Luckily, it's 4 lanes. And so this is why they wanted my car there. So I had been delayed about 2 hours, and I was about an hour into the trip back onto the highway. And I come across the blooming green pickup truck putting along, look across, and there's 3 Hispanic men sitting in the front of the car, and I'm going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm trembling again, but of course they didn't look at me, and I was just one of lots of cars driving in the same direction on the huge highways they have in America. And I was just going, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. I can't believe how many times that I said that. And just recognizing that my life had been saved on that day by Source. Take a big breath in for me. And this is the gifts that are waiting for you if you will just show up for yourself. If you will just show up and commit to the source light that exists within you, underneath all of your poo, underneath all of the stuff, underneath all of the stories, underneath you're a good person, you're a bad person. No, you're this extraordinary being of light. And everything society does is to squelch that light so that you won't wake up and remember who you are. But once you get committed to the light, they will help you. They will help you. God, I hit a semi-trailer head on. I just got my license, that's a whole other story, in a Morris 1500, and we walked away from it. If you connect, I wasn't even that connected back then, I don't think I was, although they would have been looking after me back then before I got on board, so to speak. So before I had the experience, that's in one of the miracles. It's the first one actually, about the heart attack. It was way before that. So just breathe for me. So not only does Source help you with the things you want, it can help you with the things that you don't want as well. breathe. And that's what's waiting for you if you'll connect to that light. And that's what happens when you toss your body out the window, your identity out the window, your feelings and emotions out the window, and your thoughts and conscious, unconscious mind out the window as well. And just sit in your awareness. And the truth is that you only have to sit in it for a little while. Joy, bliss, miracles. Somebody had the biggest miracle that they've told me about, but I'll tell that for tomorrow's miracle. But I want you to know that you're an infinitely powerful being of light. And you just need to show up for yourself. Put all the other things aside. And yep, your ego is going to tell you all sorts of stories. And probably even pick a fight with me like some people do when they're getting right at the point of breaking through. But you have to go, no. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing my light. I'm choosing to have the most gorgeous, gorgeous life, because you really are an infinite, eternal, rich, abundant, gorgeous, gorgeous, sexy, radiant, powerful, beyond measure being of light. And it takes so much energy to live in darkness, and you don't realize it. That's why when you drop all that stuff out the window, you can just feel light. You just feel source. You just feel amazing. Because you've dropped all the stuff and it's just you. And if you just spend a bit of time with you, that part of you wakes up and takes over, and your ego takes a back seat. Okay, breathe into your awareness. Breathe that in. Know how special and magnificent you truly are. All right. I did not mean for that to go for 22 minutes. But it's a really powerful, big miracle, and I hope you see that, feel it, and can integrate it into your life. Alrighty. Love, love, love. My deepest love and richest blessings to you all. Namaste. Esparvo. Bye for now, and I look forward to being with you tomorrow.